welcome to the last week for the Bookoplathon and for the Magical Readathon. Today is Thursday and I did mean to start this vlog yesterday, but I was way too tired. Wednesdays are just very tiring days for me, so I'm starting it today, but it's okay because the month ends next Thursday, so it's still gonna be a whole week-long vlog. So let's just refresh your memories about what I am currently reading. So I am still reading Like a Love Story by Abdi Nazemian. I don't know how far into it I am. I know I'm more than halfway now, so it shouldn't take too much longer to finish it, and then I could get at least one more roll in for Bookoplathon, but I have so many mixed feelings about this book because this book is definitely written very well. However, I'm having a lot of trouble reading it, both because of just the content, because it does take place in the 80s during the AIDS crisis, and we have several of our main characters who are gay, so it's affecting them very deeply. And one of the, not the main characters, but the uncle of one of the main characters does have AIDS, so that it's very hard to read for that aspect. And also just all the main characters are just not making the best decisions, and I can understand why they're making these decisions, but at the same time I just want to be like, please please let's not do that. So like every time I pick it up I'm just like, oh god, like I have this just sense of dread because I know things are not gonna go well, and like the part I just read, like things kind of blew up. So yeah, so I am enjoying it in the sense that it is a really good book, but I'm just having trouble with everything going on. So I'm hoping to finish that relatively soon. That is the Winer's book club book for September. I don't think our live show is going to be until October. I can't remember the date, but it's going to be in October. So like I'm not rushing to finish it or anything, but yeah, I'm very interested to see how it's going to end. I have a feeling I'm going to cry. So that's great. And the other book that I am currently reading is The Bride Test by Helen Huang, which is kind of a sequel, but more like a companion to The Kiss Quotient. And it's following Kai, who is the cousin of Mcfaul, who is the love interest in the first book. And I can't remember how much I talked about this book in last week's vlog, but I am not liking this book very much. Like, one of the problems I had with The Kiss Quotient was that it relied a lot on the miscommunication trope, and in this book it's like taking that and it's just on a whole other level. Like, these people just will not talk to each other, and literally everything would be solved if they just sat down and had a conversation with each other. And also, like, reading this along with Like a Love Story is kind of hard because both of them involve characters lying to each other. I have such a hard time reading books where like the plot kind of hinges on this lie that characters are telling each other, because I know that they're gonna find out eventually, and I'm just like dreading it so much. So I'm having a hard time with this one. This one is also a lot, I find, a lot more sexual than the first one. Like, Kai is very horny all the time. And it seems like every time he sees the female love interest, I think her name's Esme, every time he sees her he gets aroused. And like I know that happens in real life, and like this is just a me thing, but oh my god, I'm having a little bit of trouble with that. And also, like, I really don't like the female love interest very much. I think Kai deserves a lot better. I don't know, she just bothers me so much, and there's so many things she says and I'm like or like things she does. There was a scene, this is not a spoiler, they go to a wedding, it's Kai's cousin's wedding, and I can't remember why, she goes into this empty room and she sees that the bride's wedding dress is there because the bride changed like between the wedding and the reception or whatever, and she sees the wedding dress there and she's like, oh my god, that's such a beautiful dress and I'll probably never wear a dress that beautiful, so I'm just gonna try it on. So she takes her dress off and is about to try on the bride's wedding dress, but then she hears like noises and someone's coming to the room, so she has to hide in the closet and she's naked because she took her dress off. And I'm like, what is this situation? Like, who does that? Like, who's just like, you know what, there's the bride's wedding dress, I'm going to try it on at this wedding. I don't know. Yeah. So I'm not loving it, but I mean, it's easy to listen to. I'm listening to the audiobook to and from school, so I mean, I don't have school now until Monday, but maybe I'll listen to it at some point, like this weekend when I'm playing my Switch or something like that, because something very exciting happened on Hoopla. I noticed that they added The Heart Principle, which is the third book in this little series, and a lot of people like love that book. I've seen basically only 5-star ratings of that book. So I am very excited about that, and it follows Quan, who I love so much. He is Kai's brother, so I definitely want to finish this kind of quickly so I can start that book. But anyways, those are the books that I'm reading, and tonight actually I'm going to be doing sprints on Manda's channel, so I'm hoping to get a lot of like a love story read because I would love to do another role soonish. So yeah. So that's where we're at with the reading. I am very tired. I started editing last week's vlog today and I fell asleep while I was editing because I was just so tired. So I'm gonna finish editing that tomorrow, but it's fine. I have a funny story. So a few weeks ago, or maybe a month ago, I don't remember, I don't know time, but I'm part of HarperCollins Canada's influencer program, and every like season they have this event. Now it's an online event where the influencers go and get to learn about like books that are coming out in the coming season, and we had a chance to get some ARCs. So I did get a bunch of like e-ARCs from that event, but they also told us that we'd all be getting at least one physical ARC. And so today I got my ARCs. I got 2. And of all the ARCs that I could have gotten, it's just really funny to me. So the first ARC I got was All These Bodies by Kendra Blake, and this is funny because I already got this ARC through my work, so I might be sending this to Casey because I don't need 2 ARCs of this book. And the second ARC I got was Dark Rise by C.S. Pacat, which I just finished reading last week. So it's just funny to me that of all the ARCs that I could have gotten, I got the one I already have and the one I already read. But I mean, I'm very grateful. Like, thank you to HarperCollins for sending these to me. I'm very grateful. I just think it's funny. But I am kind of happy to have this because I did really end up liking this book. So that was just some funny mail that I got today. But yeah, so I'm gonna go, what time is it? Oh my god. So I'm gonna go get ready for the sprints because they're starting in like half an hour. And I will check in with you guys tomorrow. Hi guys, it is Saturday now. I didn't update yesterday, but I did end up finishing Like a Love Story last night, and this book, I ended up really loving this book. Like throughout the whole book I was wondering if maybe it would be like a 3 or a 3.5, but the ending definitely bumped up my rating and I ended up rating it a 4.5. Like it just made me feel so many things. The ending was definitely sad. I definitely cried a little bit. It ended really well, except there was one thing about the very end of the book that bothered me, and I don't really like how it ended up in terms of certain characters. Like, I wanted it to end differently for certain characters. Obviously I'm not gonna spoil it, but there was just something like, I don't know, I found I didn't feel satisfied with a certain character's ending. But for everyone else, like, it was just such a heartbreaking book, but it was so beautiful also, like, seeing these characters and what they're going through. And I've seen a lot of movies about, like, the AIDS crisis in the 80s, and I've seen documentaries and stuff like that, but I feel like there's no way I can ever completely imagine what, I mean, obviously, what it was like to be a gay man living at that time, and even now, but especially then, like, it's so heartbreaking. And I thought it was really just a really great story, but I couldn't forget the way I felt about the book near the beginning, especially how I felt about some of the characters. Like, it took a while for me to warm up to some of the characters, and I mean, Rachel did say that like their actions would definitely make sense, and you know, they did, but I found it took a little too long for me to warm up to some of them, so that's why I gave it 4.5 instead of 5, but I still really loved it, and I highly recommend this book. Like, this is such a just such a great story. I just thought it was written so well. The writing of this book is definitely like where it shines. I loved the writing and I would love to read more from Abdi Nazemian. There was just so many layers to the story and I thought it was told really, really well. So I can't wait to talk about this with the rest of the whiners. I think our live show is October 7th. You still have time to read the book and join us for that. But yeah, so that is my third book read for the Bookoplathon. So now I have to do my next roll, which might be my last roll, but I guess we'll see. There's still like 6 days left in the month, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, so I'm gonna go do that now. Okay, here we are with potentially our last roll. Which way am I going? I'm going this way, okay. So yeah, let's see what we get. Hopefully my camera doesn't stop right as I roll this time, but let's see. Ooh, a 7. Where am I going? This way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Opulent? I don't know what that means. Okay, I'm gonna think for a second. Okay, so I looked up Becca's guide for the readathon just to see how she described opulent, and one of the ways she described it was a book with rich main characters, and in the Kiss Quotient, one of the main characters was really rich. So I'm gonna use that to count for that prompt. So I'm actually gonna roll again to see, to see what else I can get. So if I get something that the bride test can count for, because I'm definitely going to finish that before the month ends, I'll use that too. So let's see. Oh gosh. So 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What does that say? Disability and mental health rep. Okay, so the bride test can count for that as well. So I'm going to roll again. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The, of, and, un. Okay. This I can work with. Okay, so as you saw, I ended up rolling 3 times because the first prompt I got was opulent, and at first I didn't really know what that meant, but after checking Becca's like guide for the readathon, one of the ways that you could take this prompt is a book with rich characters, and in the Kiss Quotient, Stella, the main female character, she's like really rich, so I'm gonna use that to count for that prompt. So I rolled again and I got disability or mental health rep, and I think the bride test could definitely count for that, even though I'm not done that book, but I'm definitely gonna finish it before the readathon is done, so I'm just gonna use that to count for that prompt. So I rolled again and I got the, of, and, whatever that prompt is, which is basically to read a book with one of those words in the title. So pretty easy. So the book that I've decided to go for, which I'm very excited about, is Under the Whispering Door by TJ Cloon. This book actually came out I think last week, and I got an ARC of this book somehow. I don't know how, but somehow I got an ARC of this book and I haven't read it yet, so I think it's time to change that. I am so excited. I loved The House on the Cerulean Sea so much. So I'm definitely, my hopes are not like too high because I have a feeling it's not gonna be as good as that, but I'm still very excited. And also for the magical readathon, I'm gonna use that to count for the Ash Torn Tree prompt, which is a book that keeps tempting you or at the top of your TBR, because that has definitely tempted me. So yeah, so I'm gonna go start that probably tonight. It is Saturday, so I did work today. So I'm pretty tired, but I am in a reading mood, so I think I'm gonna start that tonight. Hopefully I'll update you guys tomorrow if I don't forget, but yeah, we're gonna go start that now. Since I've updated. I think the last time I've spoken to you guys was Saturday. and now it's Tuesday, so sorry about that. I just honestly haven't really felt like speaking to the camera. I've just been not feeling great lately, but it's fine. So just to catch you guys up on everything that I've done the past few days, I actually have finished one book and started two other ones. So reading wise, things have been going fine, I guess. I don't know. The book I finished was The Bride Test, which I was listening to the audiobook on the train to and from school, and I finally finished it. I did not like this book very much. I gave it 2 stars. I was really sad about it. First of all, I never really ended up liking the main female love interest. I think her name was Esme. So yeah, I never really liked her. I just found her really annoying, and I thought Kai deserved better. Like, she just was never understanding of him, and like, it's hard to talk about it without getting into spoilers, but the whole like 3rd act breakup kind of, it just revolved around the miscommunication trope, which I hate like anyways, but anyways, so I don't know. I did not like it very much. I did not like Esme very much. I mean, Kai sometimes bothered me, but like for the most part, loved him. He deserved way better than Esme. Like, I also just didn't really see the connection between them. Like, they kind of just fell in love immediately, and I was like, okay. Anyways, it was just very like convenient. So I gave it 2 stars. I'm just kind of glad that that's done, because now, like tomorrow on my way to school, I'm planning on starting The Heart Principle, which I'm so excited about, because that's about Quan, who is just my favorite. He's Kai's brother and also Michael's cousin from the first book, so very excited for Quan's story. I have heard that the 3rd one is very sad and hard-hitting, so I'm just trying to prepare for that. I can't wait to cry on the train. But yeah, so finished The Bride Test. Then I started Under the Whispering Door, which I said would be my next book for the Bookoplathon and for Magical Readathon. So I'm now like 30% into that, and I'm liking it. I'm not loving it. Like, there's no way it's gonna come anywhere near House in the Cerulean Sea for me. Like, there's a lot of aspects of it that I feel like is kind of trying to be like House in the Cerulean Sea. Like, there's certain characters I'm like, oh, this character is like that character, and this character is like that character. Like, I find, I'm like, I have no idea when he started working on this book, but I find like it kind of feels like he's just trying to replicate what the House in the Cerulean Sea felt like, and it's just not working because we already have that book. But this book follows this guy named Wallace, who I'm not too sure how old he is. I think he's in his like 40s or 50s maybe, probably 40s, and he is this big attorney. He has his own like company or whatever. I don't know how attorneys work, and he's clearly not a nice person. Like, the first chapter, he's firing someone who is going through like a really hard time, and they've literally just like vented to him about the hard time they're going through, and then he's like, anyways, you're fired. And he's just like, just not a nice person, very selfish, kind of an asshole. And then he dies, he has a heart attack and dies, and when he like wakes up, I guess after he dies, he's at his own funeral, and only like a few people showed up, but there's this girl there that he's never seen before, and then the girl is like, oh, follow me, and brings him to this like village where I guess like people go when they die, and that's kind of an in-between between life and death. There's a guy there named Hugo who is the ferryman, which is really funny because this reminds me a lot of the book Ferryman that I read a few weeks ago, because this premise is very similar, but he kind of leads people from life to the afterlife, I guess. And so he's like staying in this house with Hugo and that girl, and there's a dog there that I love so much. Oh my god, his name's Apollo and I love him. That's all we really know. One thing I don't quite understand yet is Hugo is alive, and so is the girl that brought Wallace to Hugo. Like, they're both alive, but people who are alive can see them, but Wallace can also see them and interact with them. So I don't completely understand how that works. Like, why are they alive? Like, how are they the ones who are able to speak to the dead and everything like that? That hasn't really been explained, but I am liking it. Like, it's definitely not bad or anything, but it's just missing kind of that charm that the House in the Cerulean Sea had. So I am looking forward to keep reading it and hoping I can finish this by Thursday, because that's the last day of the month. So we'll see about that. And then the last book that I started, which is not very exciting, is another book for school, and that's Sentimental Education by Flaubert. And this book is long, first of all. It's like 450 pages. And I've read the first like 100 pages so far. I've been tabbing it. And it's just so boring. It's about this guy. Like, the plot is basically this young guy, like young as in like, I think he's 18 or 19 or something, falls in love with this older woman who's married. And like for a while she doesn't even know who this is, and then he finds a way to kind of like befriend her husband, and so therefore he befriends her. And then there's like all this other stuff about his friends and whatever. Like, it's just so boring because I don't mind slow books, but this is so slow, and the author just writes the details of every single thing that's going on and every single person that's in the scene and the setting and just like every single detail of literally everything. And I'm like, I can't, I don't care. And so I find like while I'm reading, I just zone out so much because I'm like, I don't care, I don't care. So I started this book. But that's not for any readathon or anything, but just to let you know that I'm reading that too. So that's my reading update for now. Today's Tuesday, which means tomorrow's Wednesday, and I hate Wednesdays, but it's fine. So I'll try to update tomorrow, but I'm not gonna promise anything because Wednesdays just suck. I hate Wednesdays.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
So if anything, I'll at least update on Thursday for our last update. But tonight I think I kind of feel like watching a movie because I'm just so, like, I've been working all day. I had to read a big chunk of this for tomorrow, so I read that today, and then I edited my October TBR and like uploaded that and everything. So my brain just is tired, so I kind of just want to watch a movie that like is a comfort movie or something. That's it. So I'm sorry for this nonsense, but I will see you guys later. I don't know. Goodbye. Thursday now, as predicted. I did not update yesterday. Yesterday was quite a day. First of all, I have, you can kind of see, this one is taking up most of the bed, so I'm just off here on the side. But anyways, so yesterday. So like I mentioned the other day, yesterday was Wednesday, which is my busiest and most stressful day. It's always just a lot. And I started out my day with, because I always play with Laszlo in the backyard before I leave on Wednesdays because I'm gone for a really long time. So I wanted to have like a last bit of exercise before I leave and some time outside so that he's okay for the whole day. So I was playing with him outside, and then he just started barking and he was running around, and so I was trying to get him to stop him from barking, and I was trying to grab him so I wasn't looking where I was going, and I ended up stepping in one of the holes that he's dug in the backyard because he loves digging, so there's a lot of holes. So I stepped in the hole, but like I stepped weird because I wasn't looking where I was going, and I like twisted my ankle and fell, and it really hurt. Like I fell and it really hurt, but then it felt okay, so I was like, oh, I guess it wasn't that bad. So then I got ready for school. I went to school, I went to my first class, it was fine, and then I went to the library to do my online class, and like as soon as I got to the library and sat down, my ankle started hurting so much and I was in so much pain, and I was just sitting in the library and I like had to put my leg up on another chair, and I was trying to pay attention to my online class, but I was literally just crying in the library because it hurt so much. And I was thinking like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to walk from school to the train, like I don't know how I'm gonna do that, and then from the train to home. What do you see? Baby. You looking at that's you. Do you see yourself? I don't think he understands. Anyways, my mom ended up coming to get me at school like once my class was done, and like I was on the second floor of the library, and walking down those stairs was such a struggle. It hurt so much. So, oh wow, I'm really dark all of a sudden. Listen, I can't, this is what we're getting right now because this one, oh, he moved. Okay, 1 second. Okay, that's better. So anyways, so that happened yesterday. I fell for the 3rd time in the past like 3 or 4 months. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I got home and my ankle was hurting so much, so I iced it and I kept it elevated and all that. Like by the time I went to bed, it was feeling a bit better, but like I still couldn't really walk properly. And then today, I mean, it's not completely better, but it feels so much better than it did yesterday. Like I was able to walk Laszlo, which yesterday, like there was no way I could have done that. So I'm very happy that it's feeling better. I can't believe I fell again. But anyway, so that happened yesterday. So just to add to my usually stressful Wednesdays, that happened. It was great. But anyways, I mean, I guess now it's kind of funny, but yesterday I was not happy about it. But last night I did a Zoom call with Casey and Lisa, and we read a bit and we talked, and that was just really nice. It was a really nice way to end the shitty day I had. They were also like, I was texting them while I was in the library, just all upset, and they were being really sweet and amazing. So I love them so much, and I'm really glad that we got to talk last night. But yeah, so that was my day yesterday. So I didn't do too much reading, but I have a bit of an update. So I mean, last night I read a bit of Under the Whispering Door, but I didn't read much. Like I think I'm 43% into it or something. So today is the last day of the month, and I highly doubt, like there's no chance I'm finishing that today. But I did start a new audiobook yesterday, which was The Heart Principle by Helen Huang, which I was so excited to start because everyone seems to love this book. I mean, I was hoping to read more of it because since I didn't take the train home, I only listened to it on the way to school, so I'm about 2.5 hours into it. But oh my god, I'm loving it already. I already want to cry. It's so sad already, which I had heard it's pretty sad, but the main character like is literally me. I mean, obviously we have differences. She is like a really amazing violin player and I am not, but the way she like thinks, like some of the things that go through her mind, I'm just like this is literally me. Like she talks about keeping things to herself because she doesn't want to hurt other people, or she just wants to please everyone. And like when she's playing a piece of music, anytime she messes up, she doesn't keep going. She just starts from the beginning, like even if it's just a little thing, because she feels like she doesn't deserve to keep playing. And I'm like so yeah, so I think this is gonna hit me pretty hard, and this is about Quan also, who I love. He was in the other 2 books just as a side character, but I'm so happy that he's getting his own story now. And the book has already gotten a little steamy, but Quan is just so sweet and I love him so much, so the steamy parts are really not bothering me like they usually would. So I'm just really excited to keep reading this. So I think what I might do is I might try to listen to this for the rest of the day. Like, how many hours do I have left? So I have 7 hours left of the audiobook, and I'm listening to it on 2 times speed, so that's 3.5 hours, which is definitely doable. Like, if I just play my Switch and listen to this, I could definitely finish this today. So I think that's what I might do, and then I can use this for the prompt that I was going to use Under the Whispering Door for BOOKOPLATHON, which was like the one that was like the and or all those words, because it's called The Heart Principle, so it works. And I think also I could use it for the same prompt as the Magical Readathon, because I was using Under the Whispering Door for like a book that's at the top of your TBR or something, and like I've been so excited to read this book, so it can definitely count for that. So I might just replace it and like I'll just finish Under the Whispering Door at the beginning of October, I guess. But yeah, so I think that's what I might do. So it is like 3:30 right now. I've spent the day editing this vlog up until this point, and also had my premiere for my October TBR today, so that was really fun. But for the rest of the day, I think I'm going to, well, first I think I might like play Switch and watch BookTube for a bit, because a lot of people uploaded today, so I gotta watch it. Then I think I'll just keep playing Switch and listen to this, or I don't know, I'll do something. But yeah, so I think what I've decided is I'll end this vlog tomorrow and I'll let you know like if I finished The Heart Principle and if I read any more of Under the Whispering Door. And yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go make coffee and I'm gonna play Switch and I'm gonna listen to this after, and it's gonna be fine and we're not gonna fall down. So that's my plan, and I'll be back tomorrow to end this vlog. Okay. October 1st, so happy first day of Halloween, everyone. But that means that the Bookoplathon and the Magical Readathon are over, which is very weird. I found September went by so fast, but then I think back to the beginning of the month and like the beginning of these readathons and it feels like so long ago. Anyways, so I thought I would just wrap up everything I read for these two readathons, but first, as you guys saw, I was listening to The Heart Principle last night and I did end up finishing it. Oh my god. That book, everyone who's read it has said like how sad it is, but I cannot stress enough how depressing that book is. Like, I think especially since I read The Kiss Quotient and The Bride Test this month, and then I read this one, this book is so different from those two other books. Like, the other two, you know, you get what you expect from a romance. They're nice and fluffy, but there's also like some hard-hitting elements to them, but they don't like overshadow the general like happy feeling that you should get when you read a romance. But this book, like, the romance is here, okay? This is the romance, and then everything else, all the depressing elements just kind of, not overshadow it, but like, the romance kind of takes a back seat, I would say, in this book. It was, at some points it was so hard to listen to because, first of all, a lot of what Anna was going through, Anna's the main character, a lot of what she was going through I found really relatable and it was really hard to listen to at certain points. Like, I mean, this is not a spoiler, she's clearly dealing with depression in this book, and just a lot of the stuff that she's thinking, especially in reaction to certain things that happen, like, I was like, it's like I'm listening to my own thoughts right now. It was so hard to listen to. So I want to emphasize, like, if you deal with depression and if you have trouble reading books with characters who are also suffering from depression, like, maybe stay away from this one. I cannot stress enough how just sad this book is, basically. There are trigger warnings for suicide ideation in this book, depression, illness is like a big part of this book also, death of a loved one, sterility also, I think those are the main ones, like ableism also. Again, I can't stress enough, like, if you've read the other two books, I just need you to know what you're going into reading this book because it's not light and fluffy, it's not like an overall happy book. It was really hard to listen to at certain points. That being said, I thought this book was so well done. The writing was so amazing. It's so interesting that, like, you know, I read these 3 Helen Huang books this month. Kiss Quotient I thought was pretty good. I gave it 4 stars. I liked it. The Bride Test I really didn't like. I gave that 2 stars. This book it was like Helen Huang just woke up and was like, I'm just gonna write the best book of my life today. Like, it was so well done and I gave it 5 stars. Probably one of my favorite books of the year, but it's hard to say favorite because it was a lot listening to this book. But that being said, it does mean a lot to me, like, seeing depression represented in this way and seeing like things that I've thought written in a book like this and being so like candid about it. It was a lot. But I think it was just a really great book, so I did give it 5 stars. It was super hard-hitting. I love Quan so much. He's the perfect man. He's so sweet and like just is amazing with Anna, and I love them together, and I love Quan, and I'm so proud of Anna. Like, her development throughout the book, I'm so proud of her. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry like just thinking about this book. I definitely cried a lot. It was a lot, so I'm gonna stop talking about this book, but I did finish that and it was great. And so let's move on now. But now I wanted to wrap up a bit, like, what books I read for the 2 readathons. So starting with the Bookoplathon, my first roll that I did was the prompt that was like one of the buzzword prompts, and it was like words that have to do with people. So like boy, girl, man, woman, person, king, queen, you know, all those words. So for that prompt I read Ferryman by Mcfaul. I don't think I've shown this in a vlog, but I did get sent the finished copy of this book. Like I read the art copy and it's so pretty. I wish I liked this book more, but it's so pretty. So I did read that for that prompt because of man, obviously. Then my second roll was the Gods prompt, and for that I read Dark Rise by C.S. Pakat. Then I got the history prompt, and for that I read Like a Love Story by Abdi Nazemian. Then I got the opulent prompt, so I used the Kiss Quotient for that prompt. Then I rolled the mental health or disability rep prompt, and I read the Bright test for that. And then finally I got the prompt that was like the, of, and all those words, and you had to read a book that had one of those words in the title. So for that I read The Heart Principle. So I think for Bookoplathon I did pretty well. I think that's, how many rolls is that? 5? 6? So I did manage 6 rolls for the Bookoplathon, which I think is pretty good. I think last year when I did this readathon I only did like 4. I don't know, but I think it's pretty good. And then for the magical readathon, I have all my information right here. So I did complete 4 of the prompts for the novice path. So for the novice path entrance, I read Dark Rise. For Ashtorn Tree, I read The Heart Principle. The Mist of Solitude, I read Like a Love Story. And Ruin of the Sky, I read Ferryman. So 4 prompts. Pretty good. And then I also completed one of the prompts that, like, there's 3 other prompts that you're supposed to complete by the like next installment of this readathon, which is in April. And I realized I completed one of them, which is the prompt for Wildling, which is to read a book largely set in a forest or outside, and Ferryman takes place mostly outside. So I just used that for that prompt. Also, I found out which guild I'm in. So apparently I'm in the guild of the Order of the Crescent. So if anyone else is in that guild, hit me up. But yeah, so that concludes these 2 readathons. I had a great time doing them. I mean, Becca and G, I love their minds so much. And yeah, it was really fun. And I think I'll keep the Bookopoly board and maybe like put a prompt in my prompt jar to use the Bookopoly board or something like that. And I can't wait for the next readathon, for the magical readathon in April. And yeah, this has just been great. So that's it for these vlogs. Thank you everyone who has been watching them. I really appreciate it. If you watched this video till the end, leave either a dice emoji or like a wand emoji, something that has to do with these 2 readathons. Leave those emojis down below. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon with another video soon. Bye!